Hello. For all you that don't know me, my name's Robert White, and I've been looking for parachute gear, cutaways, and other skydiving gear that get lost in free fall. I've been looking for that stuff for over probably 35, 40 years, and I've recovered well over 2,000 parachutes, and not to mention the free bags, I couldn't even count them. I'm out here now looking for a tandem bag lock that I don't think was a bag lock, but we'll get into that at a later video. Uh, I wanted to take a break here and talk to you all about a couple of things about cutting away. You know that a lot of skydivers don't realize. Okay, the first thing I'd like to talk to you about is these drop zones. Okay, and why it's important to recover our main parachutes and our free bags and make every effort to do so. And the reason for that is the drop zone managers and the drop zone owners have to deal with all the neighbors around the drop zone. Okay. So what happens is when you cut away and you have no idea where your free bag went and you don't know where your main is and it winds up in somebody's cornfield and they're picking their corn and they get that parachute in their combine, or they're picking hay and they get a free bag up in their hay baler and it tears up their hay baler and costs them a lot of money, they come straight to the drop zone and they complain. And this is what causes farmer McNasties. You know, we should make every effort to go out in the field and recover this gear. It's just good PR for the drop zone and for all the neighbors around the drop zone. We need a good relationship because, you know, you might be skydiving at this drop zone. You might be there for a week, but, you know, the people that come after you, they have to be able to go on these properties and find their main or free bag. So we don't want to get kicked off the lands, you know, where we can't go and recover this stuff. So I just want you to be aware that when you're on these drop zones, you know, make every effort that you can to go out and recover your free bag, recover your main, helmets, whatever you've lost. And if you can't recover it, at least go to the farmer's house and say, you know, I think my main parachute is in your cornfield, you know, or my free bag is in your cornfield or hay field or whatever. You know, give them heads up so when they're out there picking, you know, when they're cutting their corn or they're baling their hay, you know, they have a heads up that the gear is there, and maybe they'll see it, you know, and be able to return it to you. So I just want everybody to be aware that recovering parachute gear is very important. Not only to get the gear back because it's costly, but to give, you know, a good relationship between the drop zones and the neighbors. The second thing I'd like to talk to you about today is when you pull those handles, you know, you line over, line twist, whatever, and you cut away and you get under a good square reserve, you know, and the only thing that's going to save that parachute or help you find that parachute is to look down between your feet and see where you're at. Pick a point on the ground that you can remember on the map. Now, don't get fixated on this because safety, you know, you need to get to the ground safely. You need to find a good landing area, you know, and if you forget to do this, well, we have other ways of figuring out where you were. But if you have time and you remember, look down between your feet and pick a spot on the ground that you can remember on a map. This is the one thing that's going to save your parachute and your free bag. Okay, I call this my anchor point, you know, or a starting point to recover the parachute. The next thing you need to do when you land, and as soon as you land, okay, go ahead and take a look at the winds. What are the winds doing at that time? Because like an hour or two later, the wind could be 5-10 degrees in another direction. So take a look at the winds as soon as you land which way they're blowing, and the speed, okay? And note that. And when you get back to the drop zone, anybody that saw your main go into the ground, you know, ask their name and phone number, and ask them if you can contact them for future reference, you know, and write down what they tell you. You know, they watched it, you know, where they were standing, where they watched it go down. These are little clues that'll help you along the way to recovering your main parachute. Okay, now there's a lot more to it, obviously, and I'm gonna teach all that to you. I've decided, and I've talked to a lot of people that have lost their mains and free bags and what have you in these other drop zones. So I decided to go ahead and make a YouTube channel and see if I can teach you guys what I do. You know, and I haven't met a parachute that I can't find. Okay, we can find them. It's just the amount of time it's going to take to find them. Okay, now a lot of jumpers like to follow their main down, which following a main down can be dangerous. Okay, if you're a highly experienced skydiver and the parachute's heading for an open field, absolutely, oh my gosh, follow that thing down. Or if it's somebody else's canopy, help them out. But if it's heading for a woods, cornfield, or whatever, it's just dangerous to chase that gear. And trying to figure out which way that parachute is going while you're in their canopy is almost impossible, unless you fly right over the top of it. You know, so the best option you have is to look between your feet and see where you are. Okay? And just remember where you are, and then focus on landing safely, and then I'll teach you what to do after that. I'm going to put this video up. This is kind of my initial video. I'm not real good at making videos, so bear with me, please. I'm gonna go into what it takes to find a parachute. Okay, how to dress, you know, when you're out in the field, and how to get permission, all the stuff that I do. I'm going to be making videos, probably one a week, and I'll see what I can do about teaching it all to you, so we can start going home with our parachutes, and the neighbors around the drop zones will be a lot happier. So I'm not going to keep any secrets. I'm going to tell it all to you. Okay, so you probably want to subscribe and follow me, because there's going to be a lot of good information put out there. Okay, I've been doing this for 35, 40 years, and I've seen it all. I've seen every kind of situation you can think of. And the knowledge I got in this head is going to help you find your parachute and your free bag, or your helmet, or whatever you've lost. So stick with me, and you guys be safe out there, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care.